It used to be Elliott, get rid of the ball quick, and now it's turned to Elliott, that was perfect. Shortstop, you got to get there. Just like anything, and I think any parent would say it. If you want your kid to be a catcher, it could be a great program. If your kid wants to be a catcher, it's a great program. If you're a high school catcher and you want that confidence boost, great program. If you're that advanced catcher that just wants a program, builds daily habits, it's a great program.
I'm Elliott Timon. I am an aspiring catcher. My dream is trying to make LSU baseball.
Yeah, I met his dad, and then I'll just say found the program through YouTube, and then I'm an old school catcher from back in my high school days. And when I coached Little League, I think I said this in the first time is I realized I was teaching my kid to be thumbed because that's how I got taught to frame inside pitches. And then I watch a lot of baseball. And so like you realize I used to have to do run pulls if I ever try to even get on one knee. And now everybody's doing one knee. So that's kind of realizing where my knowledge level of the new way is versus just the tough. I don't say tough way. I just think like how they thought framing should be.
God, it feels good to not have to squat the entire game. It's gonna feel.
I agree. I agree. Okay, so let me ask you this. What was the big struggle that you guys were seeing on the field and experiencing before we started working together?
I think it was just dropping so many balls. Like I would block, okay. I would block them, but then I'd just catch it. Like so many drop third strikes, and I just strike him out. Way to go, pitcher. Just
yeah. And like that's an interesting way to hear it from him. From me, it was you have the physical athletic skills, but the confidence is not there. The worry you could see in just how he would frame. It was more, I'm not going to swear in your video, but it was more, you could tell in his head, he was saying a lot of probably negative thoughts or scared thoughts versus being like, all right, pitch is coming in. Like, I know what to do. So I think it's more of a confidence thing, which I think he's talking result. I think from a dad point of view, you could see confidence as kind of that repetition confidence. And I didn't help out by saying some of the things you say as a dad, like catch the ball. All you got to do is catch it. It's that simple.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. That's exactly right. Okay. And Elliott, what was some of the stress that you were feeling internally when you were going out on the field before we started?
especially when, because last spring I was the secondary catcher for my team, and so like every single time they let me catch was my first was a chance. It kind of it definitely put like I have to get it, I have to get it, I have to get it instead of I got this. Let's do this. Let's go.
That's
It's
so
like
good.
it's just like more pressure, especially now that I believe, and now I'm the it's a different like team because the coach in our organization they change coaches almost every year, but I'm the main catcher for my team, big time.
I love it. I love it. Matt, what type of stress were you feeling as a dad when you would watch him versus now?
Well, I mean, especially as a former catcher, because like
Yeah.
you try to realize like, oh, 20 years ago, I mean, 20 years ago, I'd been a senior in high school. Jesus. But like, I'm trying to like put myself at 12 years old, and I try to tell him like he's way better skill level than I was at 12. Just not just because of the program, but just like kind of how baseball is these days.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're watching and you're like,
Just catch the
whenever you have a kid that's like he's physically talented or physically athletic, and you're just catch the ball. Like in your head, you're like, what can I do as a dad? Like, how do you build that confidence? How do you not break it? And then you realize like, I mean, you're a dad, like you just want the best for your kid. And so you see disappointment in his eyes, you see the like lack of confidence, and it's a struggle. like from fall, but now it's like yesterday we created a game. I put the pitching machine at like pretty. He doesn't realize how high it is, so I'm not going to say it on the video, but a higher velocity. And it used to be if I shot before the program, it'd be like we need to catch it. So you do it death by repetition. And the game was he had to catch 10 in a row before he could get a point. And so like point 11 would be point 1, 2, 3, first to 15, and he did 40 in a row. Right. And so before it would be like dropping or catching 3 out of 10. And then now it's 40 in a row. So like that's a like he's not thinking about the things. Now he's thinking of other things, which is obviously how you improve.
That's amazing. You guys found me through YouTube. How long had you been watching my videos before you actually reached out?
I think 12. I've been showing him the videos. He doesn't really just like get I'm sure he does without me knowing. But,
sometimes.
The 12 days of Christmas, drills cool. Or whatever is how I found you. And then as I found things that I realized that I was probably communicating in an old school fashion, I'd be like, this is kind of what I'm trying to say, just like any coach, right?
Yeah.
As a dad, you want to enjoy, you don't want to coach. Like I enjoy hanging out with him and doing things and trying to motivate him. But like the coaching aspects, I like to try to separate that.
Yeah. So did you guys have any doubts about the online side of things before actually joining the program?
Phone don't die, phone don't die, phone don't die.
Oh, no, I didn't because I think COVID kind of helps, right?
Yeah.
Like I think like the COVID thing, you can get a lot done without being in person. And then I think your explanation or like the video feedback record, I think the program itself is more important than the in-person thing. So like the everyday thing, the journaling every day, the recording yourself in general is a good practice. And if you want to improve in anything, doesn't matter if you're a golfer or a baseball player, like, so those habits are more important than, frankly, he still does in-person, like lessons every once in a while, but not for catching, but really for hitting. But like, you can do all this stuff by yourself online.
Yeah.
Technology is pretty sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's definitely one of those things where like, if you guys have the habits to be able to do the work yourself, now all you need is the system and the feedback. And so some people don't have the ability to like just decide to go practice and put in the work. But if you do, and then you get the right plan, the right feedback, then it's like you just take off. So 100% with you on that. So now I want you to think back to right when we started. What was the thing that we immediately implemented together? Like, what did we start doing as soon as you signed up?
Working every day. Like it used to be it'd be work every day, but practice. But now it's work every day, including out of practice and doing it. And then it turned into a habit of just doing it every day.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And how long would you guys practice for typically?
Depending on the day, if it was like I had practice, especially if it's known that we're doing live and stuff, we do like 30 minutes of the fundamentals and then the extra thing, and then maybe a video if it was a video day. And then if like days where we played that game, it was straight receiving for an hour and a half, plus awesome. A little bit of throwing.
Yeah, I would say on average, I would get home, he'd be home from school. It'd be from like 3 to 4 every day. It almost became just like dad's home, let's go. Like at first it was like, all right, Elliott, we got to do the work. Sometimes it'd be at night, sometimes, and then it just became we'd do this. He'd go do his workout thing with his group there, and then practice. So some days were like long days for him, and it just became and I got to say, the other thing that became a habit is he might fall asleep and then wake up being like, I need a journal. Like, right. So like that habit
multiple nights. It was a busy night, completely forgot about it. Wakes up at 11 o'clock. Usually the dream is doing push-ups. And I'm like, no.
I love it. Okay. So then when you started really practicing all that time, how did that actually impact your confidence?
Hugely. Like now back then it was like, I got this, let's do this. Cool. Dang it, I dropped. Versus now it's like it doesn't. Now there's less pressure because I know how to do it, and I know that I can do it 100 times in a row. Just it's mindset. Basically.
Yeah, kids throwing people out to the point where shortstops aren't even at second base and the ball's there because they're not used to
having to be
like at 12U, very few times is a ball there in time. So now shortstops at his practices or scrimmages and stuff are getting, it used to be Elliott, get rid of the ball quick, right? So it's a funny story because it happened last week. And now it's turned to Elliott, that was perfect. Shortstop, you got to get there. And so that kind of, and you can tell what I can tell watching him, he isn't thinking anymore. It's just, he heard the word runner and then he just goes.
Yeah.
So that's pretty fun.
And that rep, it was perfect other than the fact I felt while doing it. I didn't have time. I threw it, but I felt while doing it, instead of putting my foot forward, I put my right foot to the side. And it was my coach, one of my teammates tried it during a practice because he saw me doing it, practicing it with my foot down, rotating it up, and then going. I did it. That was the time I did it. That one, it was perfect. But then my teammate tried to do it, and if you're not gonna, it was like the coach got on him, and he didn't get on me because I did it right. They were like, I should try that. Cool. Didn't do it.
Yeah.
And that got me going the rest of the room.
I love that, dude. That's awesome. What a cool story of the flip of Elliott, get rid of it, to now, hey, shortstop, why are you not at the bag? That's a cool flip, showing the progress that you made
in a very short period of time.
Very short period of time. So you said that your biggest struggle was just not catching the ball, not being super confident. What type of results have you seen now after putting in the work?
Now it's when we're working on something, instead of catch the ball in the pocket, it's when you're doing this, you have to move this a little more than you're doing. It's super specific now versus then it was it was just put your hand where the ball is. Now it's catch it in the pocket right where you want to every time.
And now push through. Yeah. I mean, it's an explanation, right? It's the conversation now. And it is a reminder that I'm always giving him, even if I'm harping on this little thing, I always have to tell him how awesome it is that we're harping on this little thing
versus this,
because that's you've gone from learning to being pretty good, average at it, but the good to great is the hardest work. So it's the hardest. It's this much more, get better this much, takes 10 times as long. I gave him the whole Michael Johnson whole quote, and I don't think he remembers it, but it's now we're doing this. We're no longer talking about getting in a good position or moving into a good target, or now we got to do this because of this, which is fun.
I agree. Okay. And you said, you kind of touched on this a little bit already, but you said your biggest stress at the beginning was oh my gosh, I have to do this perfect every time. And now you just feel like you've already done it. So you're whatever, just throw me the ball.
I know I can do it versus I think I can do it.
So amazing, dude. Okay. What else, or now that you've gone through it, if you had to consider who else would be a good fit to do something like this, what type of person or what type of catcher would you suggest would be the right fit for this type of program?
I believe you have to have a goal. If you're just, yay, I like baseball, cool. You might do it for a few weeks, but then you're just going to get bored because it's not fun anymore. You're having to work. You're going to have to have a goal in mind, making varsity, then making college, then making MLB. You have to have a goal. You can't just be, hey, I love baseball, I'm going to keep doing this. Dad finds it, does it. You're going to get bored because it's not fun. It's fun to see the results, but the work itself is a grind and it sucks. It's amazing afterwards. It's amazing afterwards. I love it, but the grind sucks. It's very hard, very difficult. If half the time it's gotta get it done, instead of, oh, well, I missed a day. Cool. If you don't have a dream, you're not going to even go for it. Because, why would I work this hard for something that's not going to help me in the future? You're going to say that in your mind. It's just going to be boring for you. You don't care. You're not going to do it because it's hard work.
All right. I'll give a parent's perspective. That's awesome. I didn't expect that, Elliott. That's awesome. If your kid, I think the confidence thing is a big deal. So I think if you're like even an advanced catcher, the most beneficial thing is having like the program. The feedback's amazing. I think that's awesome. And it's great. The even greater thing was working through it and then eventually seeing him. Like now we can record videos without even putting him on the on form. And he'll say, "Hey dad," I'll say push through. I'll just give an example. Push that elbow through before we extend. Like we got to push that forward, then we got to extend. And then he thinks he's doing it. And instead of getting frustrated, he says, "Can we record this so I can see what you're seeing?" And that's huge. So, like, even if you're an advanced catcher or you think you're advanced, that's good. I think where Elliott is absolutely nailing the spot is you got to put in the work. Like, it's just like anything. And I think any parent would say it. If you want your kid to be a catcher, it could be a great program. If your kid wants to be a catcher, it's a great program because I think you have to have that because I didn't have to. They're absolutely like probably I can on a single hand count the days where I had to take him to the facility versus me pulling up to the house, him just getting home from school and saying, "Are we ready to go?" Like that's a big difference, I think.
Yeah.
For the success wise, but if you're a high school catcher and you want that confidence boost, great program. If you're that advanced catcher that just wants a program, builds daily habits, it's a great program.
Yeah, I think that's spot on, especially too, because it is online, right? It's not like you come and you drop him off with me and Correct. Then I work him out. Like I'm giving you the resources, but then you guys got to do it. And in order for that to work, you have to want to do it. And part of the reason that you want to do it is because you have a goal, right? And I think that's a great point that you made, Elliott, that yeah, you got to want to do this because you're right. We're going to repeat a lot of the fundamentals over and over and over because every day, because that's the path. That is the shortest path to get to where you want to go is just doing the same thing over and over until you can't get it wrong. Right. So I think that that's really good. If you guys had to tell anyone that had doubts about either online or the program or the feedback or anything like that, what would you tell them?
Super interested in your answer.
If it's really not working, okay, sure, don't do it, maybe. But if it's like, I don't trust this guy, okay, he coaches college catchers, he coaches people who have gone D1, D2.
And he caught college.
Oh, and he caught in college. And he helps. I saw one of your videos. You were catching adults in the like AAA and stuff, trying to learn to be a catcher so that they can make it to the MLB. And then they did. Like, if you don't trust him, do because he is. Like, he can. It's not he doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just there for the money. No, he knows what he's talking about.
Oh, boy.
He knows what he's talking about.
The mouth of babes. I would say that, like, there was hesitance. It wasn't hesitant on the aspects, but you're obviously jumping into something where you don't have the program up front. You have an idea of what it's going to be. You don't know the time commitment and all those things up ahead. So there's hesitancy on that side. Anecdotally, I'll say, I think Elliott said he was like the backup catcher of his last team in spring. And then, like third string, or I don't care. It's youth baseball. But he got a couple opportunities, and that's why he was super stressed out. He goes in fall, kind of like a backup in fall ball. Nowadays, he has a professional pitcher saying ungodly amounts of praises. He sees a current MLB pitcher has sung his praises, and it wasn't because of like the work he was doing or like the results. I'll say it wasn't because of results. It was because they saw him every day grinding. The one MLB pitcher who pitches for the Milwaukee Brewers was dumbfounded that a 12-year-old was blocking like he was and like willfully doing it. I think that's the more important thing is like willfully blocking. Well, I mean, regardless, like wanting to be there and could see him grind to where now he's a starter or whatever, but like he is the shining example for his whole program now of effort. So like what it takes to put in effort. So like if kids are like, it was funny, I had a practice, kids were like, let's just call a spade a spade. They weren't doing well at the practice like most 12-year-olds don't when their head's not in it because God only knows what's happened. Brings the team in and says, do you think it's magical that Elliott decided to just be a good catcher and is now the best catcher here? Like, and so like not saying not only giving him that shout out, but saying, you got to work every day to do it. That's what this program's. And so like, that's where I think the results came.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And the way that I designed it was that it could be, again, 20, 30 minutes, 3 times a week. You guys obviously put in more than that. And oftentimes when you do more than that, you also get the bigger result too, right? Because again, much of what you need to do is reps. And so you guys obviously crushed that, and you've seen the results of it, which is amazing, right? So I just got to say, congratulations. I have seen the work ethic and the determination and the relentless focus on taking my feedback, implementing it. Literally the next video, it's fixed, like I see that too. And that's super impressive to me. And again, like where you are, you're skill wise better than I was when I was in college. Like I want you to think about that. You're better skill wise than me. Now I'm bigger and stronger than you. And so if we had to go head to head, I would still probably outperform you right now. But yeah, wait until you put on the muscle, and then we're going to see some really cool stuff. And when you look at where you are, you're 12 right now.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So you have 6 years until you graduate from high school, dude.
I'm still going to get better even then.
That's exactly right. Like, that's what I'm saying. And, it's just crazy to me, because it's like, dude, you could make some serious moves because you look great. And again, you keep putting in those hours, you keep putting in those reps and working on the right things and videoing yourself and improving, and then eating, putting weight on, like that dream of going and playing in college, even professionally, like that's an achievable dream, dude. You're at a really good spot. And then as long as you keep that pace up, you're going to be in a really good spot. So nice job. I'm super proud of you. I hope that in 6 years from now, or 5 years, 4 years, whatever it is, we can look back and you sign with LSU as a catcher. That would be crazy to look at that. Like, think about that. Like, that could actually happen. Yeah, that's possible, right? You got to get bigger. That's going to be one of the next things that you got to work on is
he'll get the height. He'll get the height.
You'll get the height. You'll get the weight. You're still 12, dude. Like, you're about to go into a phase where you literally get like steroids just naturally in your body.
Just to make sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. So you're about to put on a bunch of muscle, which is awesome, because now you have the skill, now you have the movement patterns. Now we throw the muscle on, and then it's like, okay, let's see what happens. It could be some special stuff. So nice job, dude. I just got to say, I saw you work super hard, and well done.
Thank you.
Hey, Coach Bougie, I know you sometimes use these. I want to put one more thing out there for youth parents that think, their kid's either small or their kid's really good. I'll tell you, like, it doesn't matter at this age. Like, the habits that he's building now, he's going to destroy kids. And I'm not saying that as like a proud thing. Like, any kid that I've seen just put in work, because I think a lot of parents get hung up on the kids that he's competing with are twice his size, but that's just genetics. Oh, they throw the ball a little harder than him. Well, that's genetics now. And so like the earlier you can get your kid to learn the work, like, then you're going to see success. If your kid's already big, if you can teach them to do the work now, they are going to explode. Like, and they'll show out a lot earlier. Colleges don't recruit 12-year-olds. They recruit high school juniors. Because I kind of see that in the program, like in the baseball youth program in the Kansas City area. So thank you for everything.
Hey guys, I'm glad that you liked this video breaking down Matt and Elliott's journey. If you want help taking the next step and getting that personalized individual coaching and feedback, then you should apply to the Complete Catcher Protocol. Just go to catchingmadesimple.com/plan, and that'll take you through all the information. Go ahead and apply there, and maybe I'll see you on the other side of it. I'm Coach Bougie. I'll catch you later.